Hello friends, welcome. Today we're talking about the benefits of Reiki, how it can be applied and what benefits it has. But first I'm just going to show you this image. This is an image of the Reiki symbol. It says Reiki and it's kanji, the Japanese writing. Goes from the top to the bottom. The top symbol represents Rei, which is universal or spiritual. It can be supernatural too. So it allows for spiritual source and God and different things like that too, or the universe. The bottom symbol's Qi, which is also known as Qi in China. That's the life force energy, and it can also be spiritual life force energy. And, when I healed in the spiritualist church, the way they used to say, it worked comes from spirit, through the healer's spirit, to the spirit of the client. Or whether that's life force, it comes from the life force source, through your life force, to the life force of the person you're healing, or yourself. So to channel correctly, see yourself like a teapot. Open your lid, let the Reiki flow in and fill your whole being, and after a few, maybe less than a minute, it'll start flowing to your hands. Your hands become warm, you can start channeling it to yourself or to others. Sometimes it can take a little bit longer with some as you're learning. So just let it flow. Don't use your own energy or you become very depleted and unwell as a consequence and very tired after healings. Also be like that teapot, let it fill up, it brews in you, and then let it, like tipping the teapot, flow to yourself or to others. Don't use your own energy, but do pass it with your compassion and pass it with your love, because that helps it pass to the needs of the person. Or be like an open tap. It's coming from the source through your open tap, down your arms and flowing through into the person, and you've got like a tank of it inside of you, flowing freely through you, and you're not really using your own energy at all. A tiny little bit gets used. Heal with compassion and love, and that's a great channeler to help it pass to the person or yourself that you're healing. So the benefits of Reiki are immense, their health and welfare benefits, because it heals on 4 levels. It heals physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So the way it actually works is it comes into your life force energy body, the energy, because that's what it is, the same stuff. And it will then go to where there's a need. So it's coming to your spirit or your life force energy. It's going to where there's a need. So you're healing here, but it's going to your shoulder maybe. And it's removing that depleted energy, or disharmony, you could call it. It's removing that energy back through your hands to the source. And it's putting good energy back there, which will allow for a great deal more blood flow to go to that area where it hasn't been for quite some time, quite often, and it'll flush out toxins. So after healing, always try and drink a glass of water. Or for those that you've been healing, try to get them to drink a glass of water, because it helps flush the toxins out, because your hands get very hot when you're healing, and that's because it increases the blood flow in your hands. So it's doing the same when you're healing your body or when you're healing others. It's increasing the blood flow, it's opening the chakras, it's sending those energies round your energy being through the meridians and nadis, and it's really letting the blood get to where it needs to go. And blood is a great healing force in itself, but Reiki is also a great healing force, so it heals. And it does heal. It has a healing component in it, not just life force to energize and replenish. It has a healing component in it that heals. It's coming from the universe or God, whichever you prefer, or both, and I channel it from both. So it's very, very good for anxiety and stress, because it's very soothing to receive. Or trauma. If you've got trauma, you put it into your mind and you can just feel such a relaxing and soothing feeling of that energy coming in, calming you down, taking away your stress, taking away your anxiety, allowing yourself to rebalance and cleanse and come back into a harmonized state of mind and being. And, that's going to the spirit and passing on then. So the energy is going to your life force of spirit, and it's then passing on to your physical body. It's passing on to your mind and emotions from your energy being. So that's what it is. We're a bit like this when we're very ill or unwell or anxious. It's like we're a battery spiritually, or our energy life force is like a battery. It becomes slightly depleted or very depleted energy-wise, and the first time you heal somebody, it's like recharging the battery, the energies within them, and their aura will get brighter, their chakras will start cleansing. So you're healing over the chakras with your hands, over the different chakras. That's cleansing the chakras. It's opening that energy system up. It's clearing away any blockages. It's opening up the energy pathways and clearing any blockages. So you can deliberately do a chakra cleansing on yourself or others. And when I have my clients here, the first time I just recharge them and heal them as much as possible. But the second time they come here, I put chakra stones, little palm stones, by their chakras, which I charge up and cleanse the night before and associate them to the colour they are, like the root chakra's red. So I charge it with root chakra red energy, and I put that as close to the chakras as I can. Obviously on the pelvis, you put it between the legs usually, and on above the crown, just at the back of the head, on a pillow or something if they're laying down. The rest you can just put on the different chakras, and just then heal over them, just touching them, not the pelvis. I heal hands off, heal over the pelvis, and just let that energy go in and rebalance from those crystals, which naturally unblock and balance the chakras. So yeah, crystals, use different crystals, and there's many different crystals you can use for the same chakra. Crystal set. Somebody said you've got to use this specific crystal for each chakra, and there are some people that prefer different crystals. They believe those ones work best, and that's fine. But you don't need to know what you're doing that much. It knows for itself. It's guided by a higher consciousness. So you've got your root chakra. That's really our connection to the earth, the red root chakra in the base of your spine. The sacral chakra just below your belly button inside you, that's your reproductive chakra, which is orange. The solar plexus just below your rib cage above your belly button, that's your intuitive gut feeling chakra. Heart chakra, your emotional center. You've got the throat chakra, the power of speech. Brow chakra, inner eye, seeing daydreams, but also sometimes you get spiritual things. The crown chakra, our connection to the higher self and spiritual connection. They're orange, the sacral, and the heart's green usually, the throat's blue. I see it as purple, but most say it's indigo, the brow chakra, and violet on top. So, we're learning to open in this series, open our chakras, but we're also healing through the chakra system and elsewhere on the body, And Reiki's holistic healing, so you want to heal the whole person's body, move around their complete body, healing them. The standard Reiki positions are mostly starting from the head down across the body, down the joints on the legs, and then turn over, do the back, and then do the joints on the back of the legs sometimes. But my system of doing it is really doing everywhere, and that's starting from the head. Now, it's always a good idea to start from the head, apart from on animals. They don't like their heads touching quite often, but it's, whatever we're suffering, be it physical, mental, emotional, it is all related in here. Suffering is also in here in the mind, isn't it? You can have a bad toe, but it's your mind that's really going like this, and your toe hurts, but your mind's suffering too. So helping a Reiki healer to relax is the most important thing, because the more relaxed they are, the more that healing will naturally go into them. When they're not relaxed, it's almost like they've got a force field up against it sometimes. So I heal the head for quite a while, probably 10 minutes at least to start off with, healing the head. Then I go down across the body, hands between the breastbone and over the chest on women, but hands, like I'm standing one side, so I've got my hands, they're both facing the same way. So just, you can put your hands on men, but over the breasts, heel, hands off. And, over the pelvis, hands off, over the bottom, hands off, and not on the inner thighs. You don't want to be healing because that's too close to the genitals. So, and joints are important to me. So I start healing the head, then the upper chest, then I go to the arm, elbow with 2 hands, and then go down one side and down there, one side of their leg. Then I walk around, come down and go down the other side of them, and then get them to turn over. And well, before I get them to turn over, I find they're very relaxed by the time I got to their feet. I've done both sides. They've had like 20 minutes healing. They're very, very relaxed by then. So I go back and I heal the emotional center and the head again, you know what I mean? And just spend a little while there, because it does so much more good the second time when they're relaxed. Now, and then do the back and just go down the back fully, and the back of the legs if need be, if they've got a problem. So I don't always do the back of the legs if they haven't got a problem there. So, as I said, stress, anxiety, helping people that are traumatized, but it will take things of past out of people, and it draw them to the surface, and they can have, start crying during a healing, or afterwards they can cry or have an emotional state the next day. It's because it's drawing it out past problems when they were a child. It could have been abused or anything that's traumatized or upset them in their life, or been a hardship and suffering they can still be suffering from later on in life. So we heal that thing. We don't know what we're healing, but they come to us and say, I've had problems as a child, but I've got this problem now. You just heal for everything, and the healing will find its natural way to what it needs to on them. So you're healing that, and it's bringing out things. They can quite often see colours in their minds when you're healing over here, but they feel things being drawn away, and they feel a pain, sometimes a mental pain, as it's being drawn out to the surface or removed, because quite often you remove it. And sometimes when you're healing something, you feel a big, quite painful spark hit your hand, and you need to just throw that away and brush it off. Because you don't want to take that through you. It doesn't matter if you did, but you know what I mean. It's best to brush it off behind you, out the way. Don't put it in your own aura. Don't throw it at your spirit guide over your shoulder. Throw it out to one side behind you where there's nobody sitting, if you feel a big spark of darkness hit your hand. I always brush clients down after I've finished their upper body. It's called like the dry, like on the meditation, the dry bathing. I just go over their aura and brush them down over their chest, and just brush it down off them, the negative energies in the aura once I've healed that area, and then just get rid of it. Do the same on their back of their head and back. Just brush them down, brush the shoulder, brush a couple of times, brush it down. So brush it down with one hand, collect it and hold it with that hand, brushing them down, collecting and holding it with another hand, and I just grab it and throw it behind me out the way. So that's more advanced stuff, but I can make videos about later. Try and make one of me actually healing somebody here sometime, but that'll probably be on my Reiki 1-2 course, that one, healing somebody. So yeah, do these things, always be prepared to cleanse yourself and purify yourself and protect yourself as well. But other things people see when you're healing, they can feel, if they've got a bad shoulder, they can feel much more pain than normal when you're healing it, because it's drawing it out. And the next day it feels better than it did usually. So I've had people that have seen little clouds appear in their mind and get taken away. So that's something of past that's been brought to the surface and been taken away by the healing. Also seeing a book with writing on it, and the letters were coming off and flying away. So people have lots of different spiritual experiences, because you are actually opening up and making them a lot more aware of these spiritual things when you're healing them. This is why it's important to close them down at the end, and to close the chakras and ground them at the end. It's important to do that, or they walk around like an open area, picking up everything, including yourself. You need to do that. But carry on self-healing for now. Might be doing Reiki 1-2 and Masters, non-teachers, eventually on here sometime. It'll be private, so yeah, it'll be from my website. Anyway, keep practicing, keep doing the 3 pillars, Hatsa, and the Hatsa, because they're very good to keep developing yourself and, attuning into that Reiki, welcoming it within you, and then, doing healings afterwards, or, so when you do the Hatsa, you can go on to do a healing afterwards, can't you? And then ground and close down at the end of it. Anyway, I hope that's enough. It's holistic healing, that it can benefit many things, most things. It might not cure. It can lead to a cure because it's a complementary form of medicine. So it can help lead to a cure, if that person's can naturally heal, and if they're going through other things, maybe medication and other counselling and different things, it can help them get to the point where they're cured. And, but it's not necessarily a cure, but a great relief and very relaxing. And people find themselves very relaxed and calm after a healing. So it does a world of good, it does a world of good. And it's a good thing to do. If you've got a charitable, kind heart and a loving person, then you can do it for yourself and others, can't you? And, what I've done on this series is I've taken you to about the level of Reiki 1 without the empowerments and attunement and qualification. So you can heal yourself, and you can heal your pets, and you can heal your friends and family if you wish to. And, just see how they experience it. But develop it a bit first, develop it in yourself, because the idea of Reiki 1 is self-healing, learning to use that energy on ourselves and experience it. And as it gets more powerful, we experience more of what it's capable of. And, there's some people already written to me on the comments that they're having great results with it. And I like to hear these things, and if you've got any questions, ask them on the comments of me. Be happy to answer. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this series. There might be one more video to come yet, but this is one of the last ones on this series because it's got you to level Reiki 1 virtually without the attunements and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, love and light to you. Bless you, friends. Neil.